As the first light of dawn broke over the quiet town of Willow Creek, a gentle mist clung to the ground, making everything look soft and dreamlike. The peaceful morning was interrupted by an unusual sight. The deputy's horse, a robust chestnut named Blaze, was moving backward in a peculiar manner. This strange behavior caught the attention of several early risers who were making their way to the general store for morning coffee. The townsfolk exchanged puzzled glances as they watched Blaze shuffle awkwardly, his hooves kicking up the damp earth. Was he spooked, or perhaps just playing around? The deputy, known for his calm demeanor and steady hand, was nowhere to be seen. Curiosity began to build among the small group of onlookers, who gathered closer to investigate this odd occurrence. Mrs. Thompson, an elderly woman with sharp eyes, squinted toward the stable. "Something's not right," she remarked, tapping her cane against the cobblestones. The whispers spread quickly through the crowd, igniting a sense of intrigue. Why would the deputy's horse be acting so strangely at this hour? Little did they know, this oddity was just the beginning of a mystery that would lead them deep into the heart of Willow Creek's secrets. In Willow Creek, Deputy Jake Harmon was more than just the law. He was a friend and protector to the community. With his strong build and warm smile, Jake made his rounds daily, greeting shopkeepers and children alike. Known for his fairness and quick thinking, he had earned the trust of nearly everyone in town. Folks often said that when Jake was around, they felt a little safer. Years of dedicated service had taught him the ins and outs of the town, making him a pillar of support during tough times. He always listened to concerns, whether it was a lost pet or a broken fence, and treated each matter with care. His reputation for honesty combined with his approachable nature encouraged residents to confide in him. Despite being firm when it came to upholding the law, he had a kind heart. Children particularly adored him, flocking to his side at community events, where he often led games or shared stories of his adventures as a deputy. Yet beneath that charm was a keen and observant mind. Jake never missed details that could help solve local issues. As whispers spread through the crowd about Blaze's strange behavior, doubts began to creep in about their trustworthy deputy. What could possibly unsettle such a steady man? Secrets were always lurking beneath the surface in small towns like Willow Creek. As the crowd murmured with curiosity, one of the townsfolk, young Tommy, pointed toward the ground. "Look, hoofprints!" he exclaimed, drawing everyone's attention to the soft earth just outside the stable. The peculiar prints were unmistakably made by Blaze, but what caught their eyes was how they moved backward, almost as if the horse had been pulled away from something. The posse gathered closely to inspect the prints. Each impression was deep and clear, marking a strange path that meandered away from the stable and into the thick brush beyond. The townspeople exchanged uneasy glances, their initial intrigue now mixed with concern. What had frightened Blaze enough to make him retreat like this? Mrs. Thompson bent down for a closer look. "These tracks lead toward the old creek," she said thoughtfully, tapping her cane against the ground to emphasize her words. "Do you remember when we found that abandoned cabin over there?" Her mention of the cabin stirred up memories of tales filled with mystery and hidden treasures. As whispers of adventure filled the air, a sense of determination began to rise among the townsfolk. It was clear that following these unusual hoofprints could uncover secrets about their trusted deputy. With a newfound sense of purpose, they decided to form a search party to see where Blaze had led them. Little did they know, they were on the verge of unraveling a mystery much larger than themselves. The excitement in Willow Creek was palpable as news of the hoofprints spread throughout town. Families gathered in clusters, discussing what they had seen and speculating on what it all meant. "We should form a posse," shouted Charlie, a local farmer known for his adventurous spirit. His proposal sparked a wave of enthusiastic agreement among the townsfolk. People rushed back to their homes to grab supplies, hats, ropes, flashlights, and even snacks for the journey ahead. Children buzzed with energy, eager to help and be part of the adventure alongside their parents. The sense of teamwork was electric. Neighbors exchanged friendly banter while organizing themselves into groups. Everyone felt a renewed sense of purpose as they united to uncover the mystery behind Blaze's strange behavior. As they prepared to set off, Mrs. Thompson took charge, reminding everyone to stick together and stay alert. "We don't know what we might find out there," she warned, her cane tapping lightly against the ground for emphasis. The atmosphere shifted from playful excitement to serious determination as they understood that something important was at stake. With Blaze's strange hoofprints guiding them forward, the townspeople formed a line and stepped onto the worn path leading away from the stable. Each footfall echoed with resolve as they ventured deeper into the heart of Willow Creek's secrets, ready to support one another no matter what lay ahead. As the posse ventured out, the trail of hoofprints led them away from the familiar town and into the wild embrace of nature. They navigated through lush fields dotted with wildflowers, their vibrant colors brightening the morning. Laughter mingled with determined chatter as families worked together to keep track of Blaze's prints. "This way," Tommy called, pointing toward a cluster of trees where the tracks seemed to fade. The group pressed on, crossing a small stream that shimmered in the sunlight. The water splashed playfully around their boots as they leaped from stone to stone, sharing stories that encouraged one another. Mrs. Thompson kept pace, her cane tapping rhythmically against the rocks, reminding everyone to stay alert. As the terrain changed, they climbed a gentle slope that offered a breathtaking view of Willow Creek below. The sight was a reminder of what they were protecting and why they sought answers. "Look!" shouted Charlie, spotting more hoofprints leading down into a dense thicket. The excitement surged again as they descended, their hearts pounding with anticipation. Together, they pushed through the underbrush, each member of the posse feeling a sense of camaraderie and shared purpose. With every step deeper into the woods, their determination grew stronger. They were not just searching for answers about Blaze, but also uncovering the bonds that held their community together. As the posse pushed through the dense thicket, the sound of rustling leaves accompanied their every movement. Suddenly, Tommy stumbled upon something half-buried in the underbrush. Curious, he knelt down and brushed aside the leaves to reveal a small wooden box, its edges weathered and worn. "Guys, look at this!" he exclaimed, holding it up for everyone to see. The group gathered around, their eyes wide with intrigue. Mrs. Thompson leaned in closer. "That looks like something important," she said, her voice tinged with excitement. Carefully, they opened the box, revealing a collection of odd items. Old maps, rusty tools, and a few coins that glimmered in the dappled sunlight. But it was a crumpled piece of parchment that caught Charlie's attention. He unfolded it with trembling hands. "This map shows our area," Charlie noted, tracing the lines with his finger. "And look here." He pointed to an X marked near the old cabin they had discussed earlier. "What if this is where Blaze was leading us?" The realization sent a chill through the group. Could this box belong to Deputy Jake? If so, what secrets lay hidden beneath the surface of their trusted deputy's life? The clues began to suggest that there was more to Jake than they had ever imagined, igniting a mix of fear and determination among them as they set their sights on the cabin. With the map in hand, the posse hurried toward the old cabin, their hearts racing at the thought of what they might find. As they approached, anticipation filled the air. The cabin stood eerily silent, its weathered wooden walls blending into the surrounding trees. Tommy, with his youthful energy, led the way, pointing out signs that suggested something had been buried nearby. "Over here!" he shouted excitedly, kneeling down near a patch of uneven ground. The rest of the group quickly gathered around him, their eyes wide with curiosity and concern. With shovels and sticks in hand, they began to dig together, each scoop of dirt heightening their anticipation. After several minutes of digging, a hard object clinked against Tommy's shovel. "I think I found something," he exclaimed, uncovering a large metal box that looked old but sturdy. The group gasped collectively as they pulled it free from the earth. With trembling hands, Charlie pried open the rusty latch and lifted the lid. Inside lay an assortment of contraband, bags filled with mysterious powders and items that had clearly been hidden away. Gasps of shock echoed among them as realization set in. This was no ordinary stash. It was evidence of wrongdoing by their beloved deputy. Faces turned pale as they exchanged glances full of disbelief and confusion. How could Jake have done this? The discovery shattered their trust and left them grappling with a mix of anger and betrayal as they contemplated their next steps. As the posse gathered in a clearing, tension hung heavy in the air. They stood together, still reeling from their shocking discovery of the contraband stash. "What do we do now?" Tommy asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The group exchanged glances, their expressions a mix of anger and disappointment. Mrs. Thompson broke the silence. "We can't just confront him without knowing all the facts," she said thoughtfully. "He's always been there for us." Her words sparked a debate among the townsfolk. Some insisted they should go directly to Deputy Jake, demanding answers immediately, while others feared what might happen if they confronted him too aggressively. "We need to be careful," Charlie advised, trying to keep emotions in check. "We should gather more information and think this through." The idea of a more tactical approach resonated with many. After all, they had to consider their loyalty to a man who had been an integral part of their lives. Finally, they reached a consensus. They would return to town and arrange a meeting with Jake, giving him the opportunity to explain himself before making any accusations. As they made plans on how to best approach him, uncertainty lingered in their minds about what truths might surface and how it would change everything they thought they knew about their deputy and their community. The meeting with Deputy Jake took place in the town hall, where the air felt thick with tension. The townsfolk, led by Charlie and Mrs. Thompson, gathered to confront him. Jake stood before them, his brow furrowed with worry. "I can explain," he began, his voice steady but low. Tommy stepped forward, unable to hide his anger. "We found the stash you buried. What were you thinking? You've betrayed our trust." The room fell silent as everyone leaned in, awaiting Jake's response. Taking a deep breath, Jake looked around at the familiar faces, his own filled with regret. "What I've kept hidden is not what you think," he started slowly. "A few months ago, I stumbled upon some people doing illegal dealings in town, drugs being sold to kids." He paused to gauge their reactions before continuing. "I thought I could gather evidence without creating panic or putting anyone in danger, so I collected what I could find and buried it." Gasps of disbelief echoed through the room. "But why did you hide it?" Mrs. Thompson questioned. "I believed it was safer that way. By keeping it concealed and gathering more proof, I thought I could bring them down without putting anyone at risk," he explained earnestly. As the townsfolk processed Jake's explanation, their initial anger began to shift to understanding and compassion, igniting a flicker of hope for a resolution to this unfolding crisis. In the days following the revelation, Willow Creek began to heal from the shock of Deputy Jake's hidden actions. The townsfolk gathered again, this time with a deeper understanding of their deputy's intentions. Many expressed their gratitude for his bravery in confronting the illegal activities that threatened their community. "We should have trusted him," Mrs. Thompson said during one meeting, emphasizing the importance of communication and transparency. Jake took to heart the lessons learned from this experience. He organized community meetings to keep everyone informed about ongoing safety concerns, allowing residents to voice their thoughts and feelings openly. This newfound openness strengthened relationships among the townspeople, who realized that they needed to support one another more than ever. Tommy and Charlie became more involved in town affairs, eager to help keep Willow Creek safe. They even started a community watch program that encouraged collaboration and vigilance among neighbors. The trust once lost was slowly being rebuilt, although some still struggled with lingering doubts. As for Jake, he vowed to be a better leader and friend. He understood now that even a small secret could lead to misunderstanding and mistrust within the community he loved. In time, the horse's backward movement at dawn became a symbol of transformation in Willow Creek, a reminder that through challenges, connections can be strengthened and lessons can lead to growth. As Willow Creek moved forward from the incident, the townsfolk reflected on the fragility of trust and loyalty in small communities. The events had shown how quickly perceptions could change and how deep-rooted relationships could be tested. The camaraderie that blossomed during the search for answers stood in stark contrast to the initial betrayal felt upon discovering Jake's hidden actions. Deputy Jake, once seen purely as a pillar of strength, became a more complex figure in the eyes of the community. His willingness to admit his mistakes and strive for transparency helped mend the fractures created by secrecy. Together, the townspeople learned that open dialogue was crucial to maintaining unity, especially when challenges arose. The horses' backward movement became a metaphor for their journey, symbolizing the unexpected turns life can take and the importance of addressing issues head-on rather than burying them away. Through this ordeal, Willow Creek emerged stronger, with a renewed commitment to support one another amidst uncertainty. In the weeks that followed, neighbors became more involved in each other's lives, attending community gatherings and ensuring every voice was heard. The experience had taught them that even in small towns where everyone knows each other, keeping communication open is vital. As they looked toward the future, they embraced their strengthened bonds, filled with hope and a deeper understanding of what it truly means to be a community.